What's going on, gamers? This is DBMgamer. So Bungie just dropped their weekly news update, and along with a few other little tidbits, I'm going to do a Destiny news roundup today. But before I can get into that, I have to get to my shoutouts. Now, my shoutouts are how I like to show appreciation back to the community that has got me this far. And guys, if I'm ever missing you in a shoutout, just feel free to drop me a comment saying you want to hear one, because I get a lot of people and it's hard to keep up with everybody. Now, having said that, I want to give shoutouts to Drone, Phil Whelan, Chris Wright, Epic Free Bro 24/7, Joel Knapp, Carter Ellis, Daniel Muskai, Gaming Oracle, The Pro Gamer, and Tony Lee. So guys, in my last news roundup, what was on the top of my mind was, when was the House of Wolves going to launch? Now, the reason I was very curious about that is I thought possibly we may get a date today. Well, the answer to that was no. Bungie did not come forth with a date. So let me give you what the tally of how the communities are feeling. Now, I posted this, and this is what the percentages are looking like. Now, about 20% of the communities are thinking it's going to land in about April, with the vast majority and myself thinking it's going to land in May, and just slightly fewer thinking in June. Now, I think if the House of Wolves launches in June, that is just way too far out for anything. I mean, to go for 2 months with nothing but Iron Banner popping in and out. Because at this point, the only new content that's showing up here as of recently has been Inferno mode. Now, Inferno mode showed up this time around again. It's on the Clash mode. Now, you guys may remember this game mode. This is the game mode where you have no radar, so everybody runs around with a shotgun, killing you easily. Now, if you want to get in on Inferno Clash, I would go ahead and get on that, because Bungie tends to not let this thing run much longer than a week. But as far as House of Wolves launch date goes, I'm still going to have to go with my gut on this one. I'm still thinking it's going to land somewhere around either May 12th or May 19th. But we'll just have to kind of wait and see till Bungie drops the news on that. Now, moving right along, Josh Hamrick, who is the senior gameplay designer on Destiny, will be switching roles. He's actually leaving Bungie and he's going to Bethesda. Now, he announced this change over Twitter, and this actually was happening during my last news update, so I couldn't really talk about it because I didn't know what was going on or where he was going. Well, despite Hamrick coming over Twitter and saying that he's going to go work at Bethesda, he actually hasn't announced what project he'll be working on. Now, based on his tweet, he is aware that people have begun speculation on what he will be doing. Now, the two most obvious answers have to be Fallout 4 and Elder Scrolls 4. Now, the only project that I have a pretty good feeling that he'll actually be working on is in the development of Fallout 4, which looks like it'll be getting an announcement in June. So what does Josh Hamrick leaving Bungie mean to Destiny? Well, not really a whole lot. Being a senior gameplay designer, you're pretty much just kind of the top dog or in the gameplay design department, which is something that takes place very early on in development. So his role in Destiny was pretty much done. And being the senior one of the team, that pretty much makes it makes you the head of the snake, but you're not really the hands-on kind of guy. Those are the people that are underneath you. Now, moving right along to Bungie's news update. What they wanted to talk about this time around were raid bugs and strike tweaks that they're planning on. Now, as far as raid bugs, one of the ones that I think everybody has had to deal with is in the Vault of Glass. They specifically pointed out to the Minotaur that's on the Venus portal, as we like to call it, or it's the kind of the green looking portal. This Joker never taking damage. Now, they actually cited the reason for that has to do with the long-legged shape of its body. Now, me personally, I always looked at it as it was possibly a lag or a connection issue with Destiny servers. Because I couldn't tell you how many times I've been in the Vault of Glass and thought, go home, Atheon, you're drunk. So the fact that Bungie's going to go in and finally fix these bugs, that's awesome flipping news. Now, the next thing that they wanted to discuss were the strikes, and more specifically, the Ballista Arc strike. This Mars strike has the lowest completion rate of any of the strikes. It also clocks in as the longest strike with an average running time of about 27 minutes on a normal difficulty. Now, the next up in that list has to be the Dust Palace strike, which clocks in at 23 minutes. So it seems that the Cerberus Vase strike and the Dust Palace strike are going to get some tweaks. Now, here's what they plan to do. They're going to reduce Ballista Arc's health by a third and reduce the Silent Flare's shields by about 15%. Bungie has ran a few playtests and they feel pretty comfortable with the design changes. Next thing on the list, idle players. Now, this is pretty cool to me. This week they say they restricted a small number of the most toxic players from matchmaking. Now, the restrictions that they're putting on accounts are temporary and apply to only activities where they chronically idle. Now, what this basically means is if you set the controller down and just don't do anything for a while and then come back, move around a little bit, and then go back idle again, Yeah, that's kind of frowned upon because you're not really helping your team achieve the goal. Now there is a flagging system in Destiny, but I really tend to not use that unless I'm in PvP. But here's what the shot of it looks like. So guys, if you're playing and you have one random teammate that you've been match made with and he's not really holding his weight, feel free to pop up this menu and hit him up for inactivity. It might actually help other people in the game. Now I know a lot of you actually come to my channel for like a lot of the lore videos and the story videos. Well, I had one interesting thing actually pop up after I made the last one that I did. The Theory of Oryx. I was actually digging through some old photos at Bungie's website and ran across this shot. Now this is a shot from the pre-alpha and actually a little bit before June 2013. Look at what this player's gamer tag is. Is that pretty nifty or what? Oryx BNG. Well, alright guys, with the changes that are planning on coming to Strikes, here's what I want to know. This is going to pretty much only apply to people on Sony's side of the fence. Who do you think would win in a fight between the Scion Flayers and Valista Arc if they were to meet head to head? Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I got to finish leveling up this brand new Titan that I've been working on. Well, if you like this type of content, just hit that like button or leave a comment on what do you think would win in the battle between the Mars bosses. Or if you want to see more, just hit that subscribe button. But as always guys, have a good one.